Hey there, pen fans. This is Brian Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company and InkNouveau.com. Today I'm going to show you how to fill and use a Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen. It's a different pen than most other fountain pens, so it kind of warrants its own video on how to fill it. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to me doing this, and I'm finally going to deliver. So here we go. Let's check out the Pilot Vanishing Point. So this is what you're going to get when you purchase your Vanishing Point. This particular one is the Raiden. That's why it has a Namiki logo. All the other ones are going to have a Pilot logo on them. I really kind of just wanted to play with the Raiden a little bit, so that's why I chose this one as the one to demonstrate. So you've got your pen. I'm going to set the pen aside for just a second. Okay, I want to show you what's inside the box. So you pull off this bottom layer here, which is a little on the flimsy side, so you got to be careful with it a little bit. It's going to come with this use and care guide. Now what this is all about is it shows you basically what I'm going to do. Well, it's got a warranty card, a registration thing, so that is not really pertinent to what I'm talking about here. But it does have instructions for how to fill and use your pens. Okay, now this covers all of the joint Pilot and Namiki pens. So it's got fountain pen, like a regular fountain pen. It's got the vanishing points, ballpoint, roller ball, and then pencils on the back. The vanishing point part starts right here and goes up through here. So that's the part that you really want to focus on. But you know, I'm going to cover that right now. And then underneath that, it comes with both a cartridge and a cartridge cap. And I'll get to those in just a second for how they work. So here we go. Now I'll set this aside and I'll cover just the pen. So there's two ways that you can use this pen. You can either use it with a cartridge or you can use it with what's called a converter, which if you've used fountain pens before, you're probably very familiar with a converter. The way this pen disassembles is you separate it right at the middle there. This is a click pen. This is different than most other fountain pens. So it's got a click mechanism inside. It has an entire nib unit inside the pen that operates independently from the body. So when you go to take the thing apart, separates here in the middle. You want to be careful not to let go of it because it does have kind of a spring action here, and if you're not holding onto it, it could spring the back right out of your hand. So just be aware of that. Now you want to slide this thing out of here very carefully so that you're not taking the nib and sliding it against the side on the inside of the body of the pen. You don't want to do that, so you want to just be careful to pull it straight out and then set it aside. Okay, so here what you have is the nib unit, which technically consists of this right here. And then you have your converter and you have your cartridge. So if you want to use the cartridge, it's pretty simple. All you do is it's got a seal on the inside of the cartridge here, and it's going to be broken as soon as you push it in. So just kind of slide it in there and then jam it with your thumb. It'll break that seal, ink will flow in, and then you take this metal cartridge cap and put that in there. And that will allow it to provide the proper protection for the click mechanism there to operate regularly in the pen. So there you go. That's the cartridge. Pretty easy. When you run out of ink, you replace it with a new cartridge. If you want to use the converter, this is a piston type converter, which operates just like pretty much every other converter out there. But it's got a little plunger on the inside that goes down and up as you screw and unscrew the pen. It's just friction fit. It goes right inside the back of the nib unit. Press it right in there. Now when you're filling the pen, you want the nib to be completely outside of the body. I know people that have tried to fill the pen with the nib inside the body and tried to fill it just like you would think a regular fountain pen would fill. That ain't going to work so well. So you want this thing to be completely naked when you go to fill it. So to demonstrate how to fill it, I'm going to break out one of my favorite all-time inks, Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki, which I thought was very appropriate to use for this demonstration. It's because it's a Pilot ink. So what I want to do is I want to make that plunger go all the way down. So you can see, well, you see my inky fingers, but I'm going to unscrew the plunger so that it goes down. You can see how it's going down just like that. And once the plunger is all the way down, then I will take and insert the nib unit into the ink. Now, the breather hole, or the filler hole is right here. So that's where the ink is going to draw up into the converter. So you actually have to submerge this entire nib all the way up to the steel part here so that it covers that hole before it'll draw ink up into the pen. That's one mistake that a lot of people make when filling with these pens, is they don't put the nib far enough down into the ink. So you really got to go deep down in there. Okay, and then just unscrew I'll see if I can show you what I'm doing here. Just unscrew the converter so that that piston is going up into the pen, and that will create a vacuum which draws ink up into the pen. And then pull it out, and if you did it right, you should have ink, a little bit of ink left on the steel part there. That's how you know that you've dipped it in there far enough. Okay, then grab a handy dandy little piece of paper towel and just kind of wipe off the excess ink off the nib, like so. Now depending on what ink you're using, this step may be a little easier than others, and depending on how picky you want to get with it. I'm not going to get all that picky since this is a video and I'm trying to not take all day on it. Cover up my bottle of ink. Okay, now this thing is ready to go. Ready to go in the pen, all inked up. So all you do at this point is take it and insert it back into the pen, like so. Now it does have this one part that lines up right here. I want to point that out to you. It's got this little metal protrusion here on the nib unit, and it has a cutout right here in the pen. If you try to insert it in any other direction, it's not going to let you. That's because the nib has to be lined up with the pen properly. Well, it's kind of idiot-proof because you won't be able to load it into there unless it's in that slot. And then when you go to put the cap back on, sometimes the click mechanism will already be engaged, in which case it won't allow you to go down any further. If you just take that button and kind of push it, it'll disengage the click, and then you'll be good to go. It won't be every time that it'll do that, but sometimes just randomly it'll be like that. Okay? Now this pen is basically ready to go, and you just push it, click on it to have the nib come out, and then you essentially are ready to write. Now on a fresh fill, sometimes it takes a second to get it going, but here we are good and flowing. So hopefully that helps you out. If you have any problems with it, you can always reference back to this video or look into your instruction guide there. But hopefully you should have everything you need here to be able to get going on your vanishing point. So there you go on my video on how to fill a vanishing point. If you have any questions at all, you can always email me at brian@gouletpens.com. Thanks a lot, and write on.